Hi, Noah here from Curve Media. Alright, today we're going to do not only my first video post, but what I like to call a double whammy. I'm going to talk about the post, so in case you're lazy and you don't want to read the post, you can watch me here talk about it. And then I'm also going to show you how to do some things within WordPress, which is what I use for my CMS or content management system. Show you how to do some things to actually post the post. So if you're learning WordPress, this will work from you, and also if you're trying to do digital media strategy or anything just online, this post will help you. Alright, cool. So today's post I have called How to Rise Up from a Sea of Noise, which, that could mean anything. And it kind of does mean anything, but I want to kind of apply it to digital media strategy and just kind of go over some of the bullet points of this post and what I'm talking about. All right, so the main things that I'm going to go over are, if you have a blog, not even a blog, if you have anything online or if you're an artist trying to highlight something, there are, in this day and age, more people trying to do that than ever before, which is kind of like an intimidating thing, but it shouldn't be, because despite there being a ton of people, there's still a lot of that content is similar or just the same stuff over and over again, like, applying it to this type of thing for this blog. Like, I've gone over in another post, how 10 ways you can be a successful internet marketer, the 5 tips for making your day 110% more productive, like, just ridiculous claims. That's just not how it works. It takes time to actually develop something, put into practice what you're trying to do, and that'll ultimately reap rewards. All right, so the first part of trying to rise up above this sea of noise, as I like to call it, is you got to prove that you know what you're talking about. I use the analogy in this, I made a stupid pun that "so you think you can dance, we'll prove it." I don't even know if that's a pun. That's just a bad joke. Okay, yeah. That's not a pun. That's just a horrible joke about a TV show that I've actually never seen. Anyway. But, yeah, if you can dance, you don't prove that you can dance to people by talking about how great of a dancer you are. I mean, I could talk about for how amazing and write post after post about how awesome of a dancer I am and I'm so great, and then when you see me on the dance floor, I'm not a very good dancer. You're going to immediately figure out that I was lying and I have no idea what I'm talking about. So you have to prove whatever it is that you're talking about. On this site, I mean, there's plenty of case examples of me dealing with clients or doing something for myself or a friend or a family member. You learn, and it's hard to make up those experiences, and you really have to do it. If you're, baking cookies, you need to bake delicious cookies, and then, people will be like, oh, these cookies are delicious. You can't just tell them. All right, the second thing is you got to be creative. You really have to come up with different ways of doing things. We all know at this point that Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest and, Tumblr and all these things exist. Just because they exist and everyone else is using them doesn't mean they're effectively using them. Try to figure out some creative, cool ways you can use digital outlets or even real-world marketing. Just, talking to your friends. Try to integrate whatever it is you're doing into your life. I mean, just be fun, have fun with this, you know what I mean? I'll give some specific examples later, maybe in the post, so you actually have to read. And then the third thing is use the law of reciprocity. It's ridiculous to think that people are going to care about what you have to say on the matter if you're not going and taking the time to figure out what other people are saying. You need to be practicing what you preach, in the sense of, if you want people to come and interact with you, you better go and interact with them. I mean, some people don't need to do that. They're established authorities already, and people will flock to them. But if you're doing this or thinking about starting something of your own, make sure you go and take the lay of the land. Figure out what's going on and engage with people. Figure out what people are responding to. I mean, there's plenty of stuff out there. Use that to your advantage. And then the fourth thing, meditate. I know this sounds like maybe like spiritual or new agey, but I mean, it has tons of practical purposes. And what I mean by meditate is maybe a minute, 2 to 5 minutes a day. Just try not to think about anything. You can close your eyes. You can sit up straight. You can do anything you want. Just try to let the thoughts go. You might find it's a little more difficult than you think, but if you do that, you might just get a little bit of space to come up with an idea of how to do things. It ties into the creativity aspect of it. So yeah, these aren't tips that will immediately bring you success, and you're going to be, oh, your internet traffic, you can see in your web analytics, it's going to jump up 150% and boom. That's not really what this post is about. It's about ways of kind of trying to figure out how to stand out. If you really know what you're doing, you can do it, and people will gravitate toward to it naturally. Just try to figure out ways that people will make yourself, show that you're awesome. Basically, that's kind of the point of everything. The more ways you can do that, and the more creative you are with it, the better things will happen. All right. So that's part one of this post. Part two, and I'll probably chop this